Hello and welcome to this April garden tour. It's our first garden tour of the season and I am so excited because it's April and we have flowers and it's not a blizzard right now. Hallelujah. So I love garden tours so much. They're like probably my favorite thing to watch on YouTube. And so I think we're going to try to do a lot more garden tours this year if you're interested in that. God willing and the creek don't rise. But yeah, welcome to our first garden tour of the season. I wanted to start right here because this part of our cottage is a little bit different. For any of you who are new here, or I don't even know if I've said it actually, but we are in a zone 5A. So it gets down to -20. It's gotten down below that in the winters that we've been here, and we have very cold, dark, wet winters. Lots of snow. When it's not snowing, it's sleeting. When it's not sleeting, it's raining. So it's a whole thing. And we live on a mountain, very rocky clay soil. That said, that's all the boring stuff. Let's get that out of the way. We have some beautiful spring bulbs in bloom right now, and I wanted to share them with you. So first things first, we have this new little path, little stone path leading up to our porch on the cottage, and flanking that, we have some bulbs. So to me, the most sort of magnificent bloom right now is the Cheanodoxa, and this is Glory of the Snow. It's beautiful. It's that sort of true sky blue with a little bit of lighter white in the center. It's gorgeous flower. 6 petals, they open up and it's just like a big smiley face. They are so happy this time of year. And I absolutely love them combined with daffodils. The daffodils that I have right here, going all the way back to our little bistro set there, are a few different varieties. We have a split corona variety, which is just where the trumpet is kind of like splayed out. And the one we have is Casada. And I used to be a little bit of a snob about the color yellow, like especially like a really warm yellow. And these are a little bit cooler in tone, but now I love yellow, especially like first thing in the season when you're just craving color and when you're craving bright sunny colors. Yellow now has become one of my favorite colors and I'm really enjoying incorporating more of it. So here is that beautiful Casada daffodil. And as you can see, that split corona is so fluffy and beautiful. Creamy white petals, outer petals, and then this fluffy, ruffly, buttery inside. So pretty. Very reliable. They've come back every year, and they start out this really vibrant yellow, and then they fade almost like a peachy color. And I absolutely, oh, there's a little spider. Let me leave you alone. I really love like peaches and oranges, so that's really nice to see. And then here's our, I was calling it Cheanodoxa for a long time, but I think it's Cheanodoxa, Glory of the Snow. It's a type of Scilla, a Turkish bulb. It's really beautiful. And when they come out, they're kind of the blue of my dress, and then they fade to a little bit more of like a periwinkle or even like a lilac-y color. Really beautiful. Here are some crocuses. Now we had our first flush of crocuses, which were the Timasianus, and those are really small, kind of pointy petaled crocuses that come up really early. They're kind of like winter crocuses. We had those, and those have gone over because we've had blizzards and everything since then. And those came up with the Iris reticulata. Beautiful combination. I just love those. I love the bright blue. It's kind of like a deep blue and the yellow of the Iris reticulata. So nice and gorgeous. But those have gone over, most of those. We have a few left over, but most of those have gone over. But we now have our sort of second flush of not only bulbs, but of the crocus bulbs, like some of these that are just so fun, the Dutch crocuses, big cups. And I think most of those are honestly going over now too. So we've had all of the crocuses, Iris reticulata. It's just sort of like, it's begun, that sort of symphony. So now we have here the Pickwick, I think it's called, which is a striped Dutch crocus or Vernus crocus. spring crocus, and those are going over, but a really, really pretty striped crocus. The other type of daffodil that we have in here is an Ice Follies daffodil, and I'll show you those more in the back. But yeah, we have our daffodils kind of lining our path. So we have the glory of the snow on this side, and then we have some more of the glory of the snow on this side with more of those daffodils, and I think that's just going to be really, really beautiful. Some more of these smaller crocuses. These are called Tommy's crocus, and I think it's kind of a play on Tomasianus from Color Blends, I think, are these smaller ones that are kind of freckled throughout. And I actually think that the color combination of this glory of the snow and this soft purple of the crocus is gorgeous. So come on this way and I'll show you a few more of our spring bulbs. On this side, we have some of the remnants of our Iris reticulata. These ones are kind of interesting because they're kind of in the middle of the two different colors that we've had before this. So the first flush was that really beautiful deep blue with the yellow in the center. Then our second flush was a purpley, kind of mauve-y, like a deep, warm purple color. And then this color is almost in between. It's sort of a blue, it's sort of a purple, it's kind of somewhere in between. And I actually really like this one. I'd say my favorite is that really clear, beautiful blue that you get first, and then probably this color, and then last is probably that purpley color, but it's still really, really beautiful. I have tons of hyacinths here, and there's so many bulbs in our new borders. So here we're calling these our kind of long borders, and this is all part of our cottage garden right in front of our cottage. But these long borders have tons of new bulbs that I've never tried before, so I'm really, really excited about those. So we've cleaned up our borders, which feels really, really good. That's one of those spring chores that I absolutely love doing. Just feels so good to get some nice fresh mulch on there and tidy everything up, cut everything back. It's like it's convincing me that the season has begun. So we have tons of alliums. We have new stuff coming up in here. Snake's Head Fritillary, which is that sort of like checkerboard white and purple flower that's kind of downturned, looks like a snake's head, hence the name. Really gorgeous. I'm excited about that. It's kind of lining this. We have summer snowflakes and camasias, which was inspired by Long Meadow, by Monty Don's garden when he has those, I can't remember which part of the garden it is, but it's right by that gate. It's got the camasias lining it, and it usually has like pink tulips and things like that. Anyway, also very glad that Gardener's World has started again. It's like my favorite program. But here's our hillside, and we like to kind of have a meadowy feel up here. I think it kind of goes with what's naturally here, which is a lot of like wild lupins and cow parsley or ammi and things like that. Really, really gorgeous Queen Anne's lace. And we have King Alfred daffodils up here. This is more of that warm yellow, which still, it makes me really, really happy. And that trumpet is just, yeah, just very, very happy. Kind of a shorter trumpet, but still really, really nice. We have a bunch of tulips. None of those have come up yet. And then we had lots of crocuses earlier on. And we have these little pink glory of the snow, which I think I like the blue better. But these ones are still really, really sweet. They're just kind of getting lost, and you kind of can mistake them for the beach leaves. But yeah, really, really pretty. And our buddleia looks happy. These are the two that we transplanted from the front. So they're looking good. We're gonna have to cut them back for the season, but they're looking really happy. Okay, this is a cedar from a friend of ours. Really pretty, fern-like foliage, gorgeous. And we have all kinds of things up here. A little bit of heather there, you can see. Some white heather. It doesn't look super happy with itself, but hopefully that improves. We've transplanted a rose over here that's like a purple rose, which should be really gorgeous. Oh, need to be really careful here because new stuff coming up, and we have transplanted our peonies, and they're starting to like poke their little red asparagus looking shoots up. And we have tons of things that are coming up here, which is so exciting. We have tons of lupins, and these are from the tulips from the veggie patch last year. And we have one of them that's starting to bloom, which is so exciting. We have our hellebores. So these ones here are this kind of like dusty pink, really gorgeous. And oh, aren't they just like the most magical looking plant? They are just so, look at that. It doesn't even look real. It looks like a cartoon plant. Ugh. I could just stare at those forever, but I wanted to put them on the hill because, you know, they naturally face down, a lot of them. So I thought it would be nice to kind of have them on the hill where you can sort of look up at them. And look at these ones. That's a really pretty one too. Different variety. Again, I don't know the names on these, but really, really pretty with that freckling inside. And yeah, we're getting so many more blooms than last year. When I self-sowed all of those Ammi from last year, they're all taken. That doesn't make any sense. I said I self-sowed. I meant when I took the dried seed heads and just sort of sprinkled them all around. They're coming up, which is wonderful. So hopefully it'll just be like this lacy backdrop to our borders here, to our long borders. And it has just been such a joy to have this bistro here so that we can sit out and really just like be among the bees and the new flowers. It's so, so nice. And I'm really excited to have more seating areas this year and places to just kind of relax and enjoy the garden, which we don't have enough of those. We really don't. Oh, here are the daffodils. Let me show you the other daffodils over here. I just love how this looks. I'm kind of regretting that I didn't do it on the other side, but we didn't have the path in place then. So we have more of this split corona. This is the cassata. And then tons of the ice follies, daffodils. Really frilly trumpet, short-nosed trumpet, creamy petals, kind of larger petals, really pretty. And I think this and the cassata go really well together. And then when the cassata starts to turn that peachy color, those are really nice. Ice follies tends to fade a little bit at that time, and it's a really nice kind of progression there. But what a beautiful, like, doesn't that just look happy to you? To me, that just looks happy. So then lining this little path that hopefully we're going to be able to finish here soon, we're going to do like a gray stone colored brick all the way up to the front of our little cottage. And lining this, we have a few different types of hyacinth, which I just think are so beautiful. And they bloom for such a long period of time for how like hefty they are. I just think they're such a cheerful, beautiful flower, and their scent is incredible. It has sort of a spicy quality to it, like cinnamon or nutmeg or something. These ones particularly, I really, really like them. So we have a few different varieties here, depending on whatever I could get my hands on. So we have Delft Blue, very, very pretty. And then we also have blue, I think it's called Blue Jacket is the other one. Those are really gorgeous. And then we have a soft, creamy white one, and I can't remember that name, I'm sorry to say. We also had tons of crocuses lining here earlier in the season, a combination of both the Dutch crocuses, purples, whites, and some of those Pickwick striped ones, which are probably my favorites, lining this as well. Really gorgeous. And as you kind of walk up, you really do smell that hyacinth. It smells so nice. And some people say it can be a little bit intense, but as you're sort of walking by, it's just a really pleasant scent. And like, how nice and romantic to associate that with our cottage. I really like that. And then speaking of scents, we have all different kinds of scented leaves in here, which are one of my favorite things. The scented leaf geranium, incredible. I'm so happy that that comes back so reliably every year. We split this one from the back last year and divided it and brought it into the front of these borders. Hope that does well this year, but it came back so well. I mean, like, we planted at the end of the season last year when it was like way too cold for us to be doing anything like that. And it came back and it looks really happy. We've done some cut back and mulching in here. So now I want to show you another one of my favorites for right now is this beautiful Scilla. Now the Cheanodoxa, the Glory of the Snow, is a type of Scilla, but this Scilla is blue squill, and it is, oh my gosh, it's so glorious. First of all, the color is just electric and so cheerful. It just looks like water droplets. It's just like such a beautiful color. Second, it smells so nice. I didn't expect that. Like, smelling bulbs, like any spring bulbs, is kind of funny to me because you have to like get on all fours and like crawl up to it. but it's worth it. Like, some of these are just incredible. The hyacinth, totally worth it. Getting down and smelling the scilla, like, that's what life's all about, right? It's like, it's just such an incredible scent. It's light, it's soft, it's gentle, it's perfumey. I really love it. The color is stunning. That's a new one for me, and I'm definitely going to be repeating that. The only test for me is going to be, do they come back year on year? So these are underneath our hydrangea standards, and these are the Pinky Winky hydrangea standards. I really liked this very lacy kind of creamy white that turns into a soft pink and then graduates to a really nice kind of plummy purple. Gorgeous, warm plum kind of, but gorgeous hydrangea standards. And this is where the buddleia used to be, our butterfly bushes, but I'm really happy with these. And so those are just kind of underneath, just sort of as a little, almost like a little skirt around those hydrangea standards. And I've really liked those. I mean, these hyacinths are just like, they're so nice. I love having them. I want to fill the border with more of those and just kind of line it with more of that. Let's see. Oh, we have some lungwort here, which is one of those that I want, again, I want so much more of that in my garden. It's just beautiful. So this variety of lungwort is Trevi Fountain. And oh, I wanted to thank you so much. On my previous vlog, I asked you if you had any suggestions for plant stakes, and you had so many good ideas. So I think there's a few of them that I'm kind of like toying between, but I'm so excited about those. So thank you for those recommendations and suggestions. And if you do have any other suggestions for, I want to replace the plant tags that I have in here with something that's really decorative and nice, and I haven't really found anything. So if you do have suggestions, I would love to hear it. But that pulmonaria is gorgeous. I would definitely want to do more pulmonaria. Deer resistant. It tolerates, it's slug resistant, it seems like it repels slugs. So that's really, really great. And it has those beautiful broad leaves, and it's one of those that it really stands out in the border because of those, it's lungwort. So it has those like white speckles on it, and it's really, really pretty. Everything's coming up in here, which feels really exciting. During the final blizzard that we had, our octopod, which we had a clematis here growing up, fell down. And so we had to, it snapped some of the clematis, so we had to cut that back farther than I would have liked. And this was really our only clematis that bloomed at all last year. So that was kind of a bummer, but it's okay. I think it'll be a lot nicer. And we have new little kind of like lawn piece, like a garden piece here. So we have this really beautiful clay urn, and I'm not sure if I'm going to plant it up. If I do, I'll probably do some sort of really gentle grass, maybe either like a hakanaklo, a Japanese forest grass, or like a black mondo grass might look nice against that color, just that dark color against there. In here we have Thalia daffodils, which are beautiful white daffodil that almost look like they're like flying in the wind. Their petals are kind of turned back, and their trumpets are a little bit smaller but kind of look upwards. Very, very pretty. But those haven't naturalized as well for us. Those haven't come back as well, which is kind of a bummer. Our snowdrops finally are doing something. We got some snowdrops this year, which was great. Columbines are coming back, and we have some of this bloodroot, I think it's called. Really beautiful. That was just on the property, and I transplanted some of it here, and I didn't know if it would come back. It did. It looks great. I'm really excited about that. We have a bunch of forsythia, tomato, and I think it's nice. It kind of goes with the theme of this time of year, which is like the blues and the yellows, kind of like a Swedish flag here. But I'm not sure if we're going to keep all of this. I shared this in my winter garden tour with you, that this area I think is going to become the dining garden, and we're going to do hydrangeas lining here because I love this hydrangea so much. This is a lace cap hydrangea that we planted when we first moved in. It's pink and kind of a creamy white. Very, very nice. And I think I'd like to replace this red twig dogwood with this because this does not look happy here. This looks pretty miserable. So we're going to move this probably onto the hillside where hopefully it'll be a little bit happier, but we'll cut it back and revitalize it. Then so we'll have these two lace caps here, and then I think we're going to move these forsythia either onto the other side of the fence or over by the vegetable patch because the deer don't seem to eat it as much. So hopefully that'll be all right. But I think it looks really nice right now. I think it's kind of a nice backdrop to these spring bulbs. So we have some yellow, sort of soft yellow hyacinths as well here that I think are really pretty. Our clematis seems to be coming back, the ones that didn't get blown over, so that's good. And then in here is going to be our dining garden. So we're going to be building a dining table out here. We bought some bird cages at the same place that we got our urn. And so I think we'll hang those from some of the trees. And yeah, hopefully it just has a very cozy feel in here. And I want to kind of enclose us in with a few different shade-loving shrubs. I really like yew as an evergreen shrub. So then in these cutouts, as well as the yews, we also have right now this beautiful red bulb. And this bulb is called Scarlet Baby. It's so, so pretty. And I'm so glad this has come back. It's a perennial tulip bulb, smaller, very, very early. Got these from Color Blends as well. And really, really nice. When they're closed up at night, they kind of look sort of more pink, and then when they're open during the day and when it's not raining, they're really, really scarlet, and they have a yellow throat, really gorgeous. Again, just very, very cheerful. I'd say that's kind of the general theme this time of year, is that a lot of the bulbs just look so cheerful. Like the hyacinths look kind of elegant and, I don't know, romantic, but a lot of these other ones are just like, hi! Like the glory of the snow is like, hi, I'm here! And these Scarlet Babies are like, hello, I'm here! So those are really, really gorgeous. And in these cutouts next to those, so we'll have the yews, maybe some boxwoods, some hydrangeas. I think I'm gonna play around with all different kinds of shade-loving plants. So if you have shade-loving shrubs, shade-loving, all kinds of shade-loving plants, anything that you love that's shade-loving, please share it. I'd love to hear. I really like astilbes. I like a lot of cottage plants. But in this garden, as you can see in this part of the garden, we're doing more vibrant colors. So I'm happy to kind of hear about those as well. It doesn't just have to be soft, pale colors. This color combination I think is incredible. And I was saying this a couple of years ago. It's kind of gone over at this point, but it's this deeper purple, like plummy purple Iris reticulata combined with the red. Like that deep, warm purple and the red. I just think that's a color combination that's the one. That's a good color combination. I think it's, you know, if you had like a red rose next to like a really deep purple iris, I think that could be really pretty. I really liked it, and I think it could be really pretty. You can kind of see this one here a little bit better, but I think we're gonna fill these little beans. I think we're gonna fill these little bean cutouts with more of this Scarlet Baby, because they're early. They're the earliest tulip that we have. They've come back reliably. That green, like the glaucous blue-green foliage with that red is like 10 out of 10. This iris is just so nice with that. Do you see what I'm saying with that pairing? Like it just does something for me. I really like that. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so coming back through, we have a few different daffodils here that I didn't mention. We have the replete daffodil, which is a double daffodil that's got more of that peachy color on the inside. That's really, really nice. Another very elegant kind of daffodil, but it does tend to sort of like face plant whenever it rains. It's like one of the first ones that just like goes face down in the mud. So that's something to be mindful of if you have wet springs. And then another one that I really like that's really romantic, delicate, is the Salome daffodil, which is creamy white on the outside, and then it has a peach colored really, really short trumpet. Very, very nice, very elegant. Wasn't great at coming back though, unfortunately. So we'll see. But that's all. That's it for our spring garden tour part 1. Hopefully we'll have like 8 more of these, because hopefully every day we have new things to look at. I'm really excited to show you the new borders, the new bulbs, all kinds of things. And I'm just so, so happy that like the season is here, that the season is finally beginning, because it was a long winter, and I'm so grateful to you for your positivity and your happy words. But yeah, it was a long winter and I just can't wait for what this season has. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being here. I found out there's 10,000 of us. That was just a few days ago. So thank you. Thank you for subscribing. That's so exciting. And if you would like to be notified when we upload, please subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Give it a like if you'd like. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Okay. Happy gardening. Bye.